Hello! Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. I'm glad to have you either way. I'm Ashlee Shades, and this is Shades of Love, my YouTube channel where I bring you a story that I have written from start to finish, but one chapter at a time. So each video is a chapter all by itself. So if you want the full story, you have to just keep returning. If at the end of the video you like what you've heard and you want more of it, then please consider subscribing because it's totally free. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll know when I upload the next chapter. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I hope you're well, and I do hope you enjoy the story or this chapter of it. Stay tuned, because here we go. Chapter 5. Charlie. It was Saturday. It was the end of her first week, and Charlie was walking to the library. Again. She and Liam had arranged to meet up on Monday, so he could guide her through the northern Dublin, where the newest literacy center would be, but she wanted to stop in and thank him for a wonderful first week. She couldn't imagine enjoying the city as much on her own as she had with Liam. As she approached the library, she noticed the sign on the door informing patrons they were closed. She walked around the building, looking for someone, and eventually she spotted Liam. "Hey," she said as he approached her. "Hey yourself, Charlie. Something told me you'd be by today. Didn't realize the library would be closed, huh?" "No," Charlie replied. Liam looked up to the sky and squinted his eyes. She followed his view and noticed that the rain was coming. "Why don't we go someplace and eat? It looks like it may rain." Charlie narrowed her eyes at him. They'd been in each other's company pretty much every day, so she thought he'd be tired of her by now, but he must have misinterpreted her look. "As friends?" he laughed. Charlie accepted, wishing they could be more than just friends. Liam took her to a nice place called the Riddler to eat and to wait out the rain. After which he gave her a more personal tour of his favorite places to haunt when he wasn't spending time with the books. "I'm curious, though," she asked. "Oh, what about?" "Well, you spend so much time with the books, and you have made yourself my personal tour guide while I'm here. Don't you have a girlfriend?" The thought of Liam having a girlfriend made her sick with jealousy, but there was nothing that she could do. She lived in the United States and he lived here. She'd never see him again when her assignment was complete. "I've had girlfriends, but none that made me want to settle down and start a family. They've moved on, and so did I." If there was one thing that she could say about Liam, it was that the man was private, and he wasn't forthcoming with any information about himself, but he was all talk when it came to the O'Sullivans. He was the fountain of information when it came to that family. And his knowledge of that family, and thanks to it, she was almost complete with her piece that she was writing. Almost. Chapter 6. Liam. It was Tuesday, and Liam was with Charlie. This time he was giving her a tour of northern parts of Dublin on the back of his bike, and he was letting her take more photos. She was an amazing photographer. He knew that because she had shown him some of the pictures that she had taken. He showed her his favorite places and where he would spend his time when he visited this part of town. When they had hit all the spots that he was familiar with, he asked her about her work and whether she had enough material to write the piece that she needed. "I believe so, but there's just one thing, though," she said. "What's that?" "Do you think it'd be possible to see the site of the literacy center? Do you know where it'll be?" "I do. Let's go." They hopped on the back of his bike, and he drove them to the site of the literacy center that would be opening the following week. The week he would no longer see beautiful Charlie. That thought sobered him. "The building is beautiful," Charlie said when they climbed off the bike. She pulled out her camera, began snapping pictures. He stood there admiring the view, not the building, but Charlie. The look of pure joy on her face was something that he'd pay to see. But he couldn't tell her that. She'd be going back to New York soon, and he'd be here in Dublin, living his lonely existence within the walls of a library. He never felt loneliness in his life, but just thinking of Charlie leaving Dublin, leaving behind him, while she returned home, left him with a sense of abandonment as he'd never felt before. He didn't like the feeling not one bit. When she pulled the camera away from her face and looked up at him, he had to clear his throat before he spoke. I plan to volunteer here when they open up. What about the library? She asked. Oh, I've explained it to them. I'll let them know that I'll be splitting my time. They know how much I love reading, so they're okay with it. That's so sweet of you, Charlie said. He gave the building one last look before asking Charlie if she was ready to head back. I think I am. Well, hop on then. He decided to take her back to her hotel rather than the library. It was getting late and he didn't want her to walk back alone. When they made it to her hotel, she climbed off, and before she went in, she asked him why he didn't have a job. I made some decent investments that have left me comfortable. They allow me the freedom to dedicate my time to helping where needed. What's that for? Oh, no reason, she laughed. He smiled. Well, good night, Charlie. Charlie leaned forward and kissed him on the cheek. Then she said, Good night, Liam. Thank you for everything. He sat there on his bike, frozen, and watched her walk into the hotel before pulling away and heading home. He rubbed an ache that had formed in his chest and realized he would miss her when she left because he had done something he thought he would never do. He'd fallen in love. Thank you for watching. For more videos like this, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And remember, today's just one chapter of your story.